Oh boy. So, guys and gals, seems like preservation and archives and things like that might be a thing of the past. And it sucks. It really does, because, you know, I love the idea of preserving the past. I've always been someone who supports the idea of emulation, or places like archive.org, where a lot of things get, well, archived. And things like that. But apparently that might all go away, and I hope it doesn't. I hope that people actually change their minds and allow them to stay, because this is a very, very important thing. So for those of you that don't know what's going on, I guess some people complained, and now the government's getting involved. The government's ruining everything. So the government, they're pretty much like, oh yeah, well, you know, I think we think it's a good idea to get rid of these websites like archive.org, or, you know, the Wayback Machine, or this or that, or things to that nature. And I honestly think that's a big old pile of fucking bullshit. And you want to know why I think that? Well, it's obvious. The government should have no say whatsoever on these things. I personally think the government should just stay away from the internet. Period. Because they don't know how it works. It's a bunch of old people. A bunch of old fucks who don't understand anything about the past. You know, like with the internet, they don't know how to use the internet. They don't even know what the internet does. So they obviously have no idea how archives work. They have no idea how things like, you know, how things like this are supposed to go. Now, my personal recommendation is, you know, save the internet. Alright? Now, a lot of people, they think, oh yeah, well, the fucking archive is a bad thing because blah 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 XYZ. And you're wrong, alright, on everything that you say against archives, alright? Now, archives are a really important thing for multiple reasons. And the first and major reason, like the biggest reason ever, I'd say, to all this, is this. By preserving the past, you are securing our future. You know, things like emulation, and things like books, and music, and TV shows, and movies, and things like that. You know, think about it this way. People preserve these things for a reason. It's so that future generations can enjoy these things. You know, all these shows and movies and music from the 80s or 90s. Hell, even early 2000s, 70s, you know, since the beginning of time itself at this point. You know, all of these things should be available to the public, to everybody. Even when they no longer exist in circulation, and they don't get shown on TV, they don't get any, like, plays on the radio, they're never talked about on video game compilations, they're never mentioned about in other things. So it's important to post these things to the internet so that future generations can enjoy them. And that's the biggest reason. another reason why we should fight for this and keep, you know, preserving the past is because if we don't do this, there's gonna be so much shit out there that is gone. You'll never see it again. Period. These things on websites like Archive and, you know, using the Wayback Machine and things like that, you know, it's important. Very, very important that we fix this and we keep it so that the internet is permanently available to all this information and all these things that have been archived throughout the years and decades. And all of these things, I personally feel, are extremely important to everybody. And I'll tell you something right off the bat. I think I have a pretty good idea as to one of the reasons why people like the government are not really big on preservation. Well, two reasons. One, a lot of people, like the crazy psychopathic idiots that they are, think that it's all piracy. Oh, well, if you use Archive, you're pirating. If you use a Wayback Machine, you're pirating. If you do this and that, blah, 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 you're pirating. Okay, first off, fuck no, I am not, you stupid retard. Okay, stop being an old coot for more than 5 seconds and just let me explain everything here. So, the big issue with piracy, blah 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 blah. You know that's not gonna work out, even if that is the big reason. You're never gonna stop piracy, period. Just take a look, how many times have they tried to stop websites like Kick-Ass Torrents or the Pirate Bay? How many times have those websites gone down, been taken down, only to be replaced a couple of seconds later? Couple of days later, maybe, at the most. Exactly. You cannot stop it. So give up. There is no point, and piracy isn't that big of a deal anyway. Alright? I mean, they always say things like, oh, well, you're gonna go to prison if you pirate this movie, or this game, or whatever. Okay, no. That is absolute garbage take right there. A very, very, very garbage take. Because I don't know a single person who's gone to jail or prison for pirating. Alright? And, you know, I know that a lot of people have done it. Even you. And if you say you haven't, well, you're a big fat fucking liar. And even if you're not lying, you've probably thought about pirating at least once in your lifetime. You know, it's pretty much guaranteed that everybody at least some point has dipped their toes into piracy. So, in essence, getting rid of something like this is only gonna make the issue worse. Alright? You know, it's gonna make the problem, I'm using air quotes here, the problem only that much worse. You can't stop it. No matter how hard you try. You get rid of a ROM website, 2 seconds later, 5 more pop up. Alright? It's easy to do. A lot of people already have the files, so it's really easy to port all these games into, you know, these things. Or, you know, music. It's not just about video games that they're complaining about. It's about, you know, oh, well, they're pirating music and TV shows and movies. Yeah, well, again, you cannot stop piracy from happening. And even if you slow it down just a little, you will never fully get rid of it. It'll always be there. Always. No matter how hard you try, it will exist in some form or another. So really, that excuse should be thrown out the window, set on fire, and then just, thrown into the ocean to drown and never see the light of day again. Now, I have an actual theory here. May not exactly be fully correct, may not really be that big of a reason all in all. But, I have a theory that the government has a problem with this because of history. See, archives house all of these things. Movies, music, TV shows, video games, documents, the list goes on. Images from the past, and everything else. They want people to be ignorant about the past. They want people to think that America is this great country that has helped so many people, and that the government cares about them, and blah, 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 blah. And that the whole, history books, what they teach you in school, is the proper way to learn, and the only right way, because that's the American way, and that America is this perfect country, and blah, 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 blah. No. If you look at history, even for a small, tiny millisecond, you will find out that that is not the case. America has done some of the worst things humanly possible, and yet we always complain about other people doing it. And, archive.org and other websites similar to that house a bunch of archives and historic moments in history, obviously. That's why they're called historic moments. Duh. Keep up with me, people. But, that's why these things are being threatened. Because the government doesn't want people to know how bad of a country we really are. How horrible. You see, in history class, we're always taught things like, oh, America's this great thing, we helped win the war. In World War II, we did this, we did that, we supplied people with this. I mean, cool, yeah, whatever. But we only did it because we got bombed. We only joined World War II because we got bombed in Pearl Harbor. And on top of that, that's just one thing. But, we never get to hear about, we always hear about slavery and things like that, but we never get to hear it from a slave's point of view. How they would speak about it. And I know it's bad across the board, so they're going to say something we probably have already heard about a billion times. Oh, it was horrible. But they're going to probably say a lot more worse things about it than what they teach you in those history books. There's a lot of history that we don't know anything about because the government wants to tell you what to learn in school. All these school people, the higher-ups, the officials, they want to be like, yeah, here's what you have to learn, and you have to learn in this way. None of this alternate history where you talk about the other side and how they felt. Who cares about how they felt? We are America, we are perfection. And I think that's one reason why they want to take down these websites and to fight with everything that they have in their useless, pathetic minds, alright? That are so small and dainty, they make a chihuahua look like Godzilla, okay? We're gonna fucking go right there because I'm gonna tell you something. They don't want us to learn about what really goes on in history. They don't want us to learn, period. Except what they want us to learn. They don't want us to learn anything else. And I think, like I said, it's a big conspiracy that the government is only choosing this because of that. They don't care about, piracy. It's not high on their to-do list of things to care about. And all these other things. And I hear some people are trying to sue these archive websites. Really? Okay, let me ask you a perfectly good question. Why now? Alright? Why now? These websites have been up for so long. A lot of information is on these sites. And you're telling me that you just now thought it would be a good idea to sue them because of whatever. Mostly like copyright issues and piracy and this and that. Really? Like, are you for real? Are you shitting me right now? You're telling me that you just now thought of that. And let's be real here. That's not really a big deal if we're being honest about it. I don't really think piracy is a big deal. I mean, how many people have you known in your lifetime that, has gotten arrested for piracy? Not a lot of people, I can tell you that much. It's not this pandemic or epidemic that people are talking about. It's not a big deal. It's just like with emulation sites. They always think, oh, emulation's bad. It's not. It's preserving the past, so future generations can play these games without worrying about losing anything. And I, again, am a huge supporter of these things. I'm a huge supporter of preserving the past, and that, like, future generations, they should always be allowed to access whatever they want to access. It's kind of like when the government tried to control us for the 5 billionth time with the whole net neutrality bullshit. Remember that? Remember when net neutrality used to be a thing? Wasn't that far away. It's a couple of years ago. But, yeah. They tried to basically make it to where, the government had full control over what to view online. And if you were viewing the wrong things that they didn't want you to do, as well as the, the service providers, the ISPs, they're basically going to make your internet so slow, and you don't get the bandwidth you paid for, you don't get the speeds that you wanted or needed, that you paid for. So, in essence, they tried to control you in another way. So they're no strangers to wanting to ruin the internet for everybody. But I have a problem with that. I have a problem with the government trying to snoop with everything, trying to control us with the internet, because essentially what they're trying to do is make the internet no longer free. I remember when the internet used to be the Wild West. Anybody can say and do whatever they wanted. Any website was whatever. It was far less corporate, where the government and all these social media sites weren't that big, and the government didn't try to control everything. Well, now that the internet is a part of everybody's lives, and I mean everybody, and the ones that don't use the internet, they're probably already better off, because, well, I mean, think about it. They've had several years. Most of these people are old geezers by now, in their 60s and 70s and 80s, and grew up where there was no internet. Where the internet was just a foreign concept. There never was a thing called the internet. And then the 90s happened. The 90s happened, people. Right? And the internet was everywhere. The World Wide Web. And sure, there was a few things probably back in the 80s and 70s. Computers have always really been a thing. for almost like 100 years, I'd say. But never to this extent. It was never to the extent of what we have now, where everybody's connected, every single person is connected to something. Their smartphone, their tablets, their game consoles, their computers, their, their I don't know, their smart fridges. Like, let me tell you something. Your computer is so good, you can literally use remote access right now to control your smart fridge. Why we need a smart fridge in today's world, I have no idea, because fridges, refrigerators and microwaves, they serve their own purpose. They shouldn't have to have internet capabilities. Oh, you want to play Doom on your fridge? Well, I don't know, just hook up your Game Boy or PS4, strap your TV to the microwave, and then just play Doom that way while you wait. I don't know. Like, you really don't need to have, that. And I know I went off on a tangent there, but who cares? That's pretty much what I do anyway on all my videos. But, I digress. The thing about it is, the government wants to control you for the 5 billionth time. And it's not the first time they tried to step foot in our territory of the internet. And let me tell you something else. The government doesn't know a damn thing about the internet. Alright? They don't know the first thing about, the internet. And they want to control it so that they get more out of it. Oh, well, we get to control the internet because it brings us more people. Social media is big, like Facebook and Twitter, and everybody's arguing with each other about who's right or wrong. Democrats, Republicans, none of them are right. Let's be real here. None of them are right. Politics is stupid, the government's stupid, and the internet should be a free place for everybody. And that includes these archive websites. I don't want to live in a world where, tomorrow, today we have archives and access to everything we've ever wanted to know in the history of our world, and, watch every movie that we want to watch, or music that we want to listen to, every game that we want to play, etc., etc. It's, access to all these things, and then the next day it's all gone. Completely gone. Because, some fucking idiot decided that it's a good idea to remove these things because of copyright issues and or the issues of, just people being, afraid that other people might learn about how horrible we've been in our history. So, they want to shut that down and make it to where, people cannot use the internet in that way. It's no longer a place for information at this point. If you get rid of one or two things that are big on information and historical things, then there is no point in the internet, because the internet should be, like I said, free for everybody, and it should also be a case of, people can look up what they want. They can download whatever they want, alright? And say whatever they want. The internet should be a place for everybody to learn, explore, and discover new things. And future generations should be allowed to have archives of video games or movies, TV shows, music, books, art, whatever. The internet really is a good place, right? And there's all these people trying to make the internet worse every day, making it bit by bit, bitch by bitch, a worse place to be. We've already got social media that makes the internet just absolutely garbage, top tier garbage. But now everyone's trying to tell us what we can and can't, archive. What should be available and what shouldn't be available. What we need to do with all these things. And I honestly think it's a whole stupid fiasco of people being stupid. Alright? But that's going to be it for this video. I just wanted to talk a little bit about the whole issue going on with archive sites and, digital libraries, digital museums even, and how many people want to get rid of them just because. And I think that's a big thing. So many people want it gone just because. They have no reason, and all the reasons they have are absolutely dumb, stupid, useless, garbage reasons that nobody should ever have to listen to or take from anybody. And I'll tell you right now, like I said before, I don't want to live in a world where all these websites and information and all this media could be gone in a matter of seconds. Yeah, like I said, one day we have all this information, the next day it's all gone. Every bit of it. And going back to what I was talking about, though, just one more thing. You're gonna try to stop the internet from all these archives. You know that's not gonna work. It's never worked at all in the past. It's going to be impossible to regulate. Even if you do flat out ban all these archive sites, there's always going to be more down the road. It's like with anything. You try to stop it, there's going to be more and more and more ways for people to get it. So really, by suing or banning or whatever it is you're trying to do with the internet and the archive sites in particular, you are being the most dumbest, most ignorant, most just useless pile of bones and flesh I've ever seen, I've ever heard. Because, like I said, you know damn well that you cannot stop this. It's already in motion. These things have already happened. They will continue to happen, whether you ban it or not, whether you get rid of it or not. We will find a way to preserve the past. We will find a way to save all these things from being gone forever. So, yeah. Give up while you still can. Because we will win. Archiving will forever be a thing. No matter what the government thinks about it, it's just the government trying to steal shit from us and complain about everything and all these things that the government does to ruin everything from us. Anyways, that's it for this video. And I will see you all in the next one, where I talk about whatever. Oh, there's some diamond. Yeah, some more diamond. Now I really don't want to die in Minecraft. In reality, I still want to die, but in Minecraft, no. I'm carrying diamond. I do not want to die. Fuck off. Anyways, I will see you all in the next video, whatever I do. I might do a live stream of Cyberpunk, because I've beaten the game. I beat Cyberpunk. I'll do it again. Don't tempt me, humans. Yeah. Peace out, people. and a good old-fashioned a bro hoof. Yeah, just keep fighting. You know, keep fighting to keep the archives alive. We will win this, don't worry. And if we lose this particular fight, we will still win the war. We will still win the war against everything that the government tries to throw at us, and that all the people that hate this will still think we've lost it. So yeah, keep the archives alive, people. Always keep the archives alive. To hell with what people think. The archives are important. More important than you could possibly imagine. More important than your life or my life. More important than the cat that's sitting outside your window trying to murder you for stealing its panties. More important than the fish that you masturbate to every goddamn day. More important than everything in the universe. Because all of this knowledge should never have to go to waste.